What's happening? All right, here we go. And okay. How did I set this up last time? Me don't remember. Okay. I'm also going to just phone here. Phone is here. Ba-da-da-dum, da-dum, dum. Making sure that the sound works. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Phone here. It does. Okay, then we're good to go. Wonderful. So I'm just going to put this away now. Well, no, not put it away. I'm going to put it in my view so I can make sure my stream is always working. Hi. How's it going, Neko? Okay. Wait, why would I pull those up? Hey, Musical Marauder, Cookie Licious. Nice to see y'all. Yes, happy Monday. I remember when people would like, and I know people still do, dread Mondays, right? And so it was always TGCF. And when I was a teenager, there was this motivational speaker. His name was irrelevant apparently, but he would say, "Thank God it's Monday," and so that was just like his thing. Like, it's Monday, but so what? Like, you're still alive, all of that stuff, blah blah blah. Yes, I am not dressed up today. This is to keep me warm. Thank you. Look here are the little ears. They're a little lopsided. There we go. Okay, got them on. Yes, all the greens and the pale pink underneath. But yes, it's like we look forward to Mondays because we get a little book chatting in, which is super duper exciting. So yeah, like I'm excited. At least I will say that sometimes I do be dreading Monday because work, and it's not even because of work itself, more so just because there's loads of work to do when the weekend is over, like our inbox is filled but I still love Mondays. I love every day because I'm like, hey, every day that I'm alive is a great thing, right? So I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here with you all to discuss salted fish, which is where it should not be, all the way over Kingdom Come instead of over here. So I have to like get myself situated. I normally try to stall for 10 to 15 minutes and chat with you all. That won't be the case today. As I said in our live session yesterday, I have work, more work at 3:45, 3:50. And so we'll do a pause. And according to when I looked it up, I should be able to disconnect from the audio on the Zoom session. So that way, after the little, I can just have us do a break and then come back. And then on my other screen, just have the Zoom open so that I can always see it. But I don't have to be present during that Zoom session. So, because I'm like an hour and 45 minutes. I don't know if that's enough time. I don't know if that's enough time to cover these 4 chapters. I mean, it's technically one less chapter than usual, but you said your band director would always say, "Why hate Mondays? That's 1/7 of your whole life." Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Hi, toenail biter. Do you really bite your toenails? No judgment. I'm just saying, like, do you really bite your toenails? It's nice to see you here. It's a new face, new name. Hey Megan, how's it going? You said, "Oh my goodness, your hoodie is adorable." Thank you. It's so comfy. It's so comfy. And this pocket is just like everything. I always tuck my little hands inside. I need to get more because they had multiple colors. Um, you won't be able to talk yet. You'd listen because you're in class. Oh, you're not allowed to have your phone. Oh, hear no evil, see no evil. I don't know that you're in class. I'm glad that you're here. That's all that matters to me is that you're here. Your presence is welcome. Your presence is appreciated. So enjoy having your little distraction while in class. So anyway, yeah, um, you said it looks comfy. It is. It's very comfy. So, yeah, just so you all know, today, again, we're covering chapters 11 through 14 of Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. We're going to go at least until my time, 3:45. Okay. Hold on. Let me just 2:45, I think is what no, 3:45. This is why I pull this thing up because sometimes my brain be braining. Yes, 3:45 is where we may potentially have a break. It'll be usually I have to do like a 15-minute check-in with the artist before they start the live session, but it all depends on when she arrives. So, if she arrives, 10 minutes before, then, well, anyway, the break, it'll be approximately 15 minutes, and then we will come back. Like, so stay on the live. But yeah, that's the plan for today. What was it beeping? Beepity boop boop boop? No? I thought I heard a beeping sound. Oh, you know what? Never mind. That was the car. I know that sound. Yep, yep, yep. So I'm going to go ahead and open my book, which y'all, I finished reading chapter 14 this morning. This past weekend, like this past week into the weekend, I really did bite off more than I could chew. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was like, this was a bit much. I had so much going on at work, so much going on in my personal life, so much going on here on this channel, and it was a mess. It was a mess. I was just like, what are we doing? Also, I need my phone to make sure I'm monitoring if anything ever happens, the live freezes or something like that. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed chapters 11 through 14 because that's what we're about to discuss. Remember, no spoilers, so be mindful if you have already binged. If you have left me in the dust, just be mindful of the things that you are saying. So I am going to take my thick and long notes, and we are going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're starting with chapter 11, which first off, again, we on chapter 10 left off with Luan Chung letting us know in a very childlike manner that he was sleepy, and then he decided to put a little bit more dignity into his way of saying the exact same words. It's a lot to handle, and these were a wild few chapters too. They were wild. I was like, oh snap, if you don't stay there obediently, thank you. So anyway, there we are with that. So then sleepy guy goes to sleep and he decides he's not going to wake up. Well, okay, his body decides it's not going to wake up because he has a fever. How lovely. He had been doing so well recently, and now he's like, fever time. So he's not waking up. They bring in physician Jong, and he comes with a student. Y'all already know where I was. As soon as I saw Cheeger's name, you said you haven't read these chapters, so you will come back later. Why are you even coming if you know you didn't read them? I appreciate you coming in, but why do you do this to yourself? You're like, oh, didn't read these, gotta come back. Because I'm giving an entire recap. You will come to it later, but you read it years ago, so maybe you can stay. Okay, maybe. Just stay. Just go ahead. It'll be okay. So, who is the student that Professor Jong is bringing? Teacher. And I was just like, how very convenient. How very convenient. We know exactly what you were doing. And so here in my book, I have, yes, how very convenient. But it says, when he heard the young Marquis was ill, he was worried and insisted on coming to the manor to see him. First off, okay, despite the fact that he's got a fever, when is he not ill? He's always been ill. It's common knowledge that the man was born ill. So have you just suddenly have this concern and worry? Absolutely not. So get on somewhere. Not only that, but I absolutely loved that Ling Qingyu was like, so what you were annoyed from the start? Yes. It was like, when have y'all been acquainted? Oh, okay. Um, when have y'all been acquainted? I didn't know that y'all were this close. And I love just how quickly he shut him down because he was like, oh, well, at your place, we hit it off really quick. And he was like, no, you can stay your butt outside. Bye. Teacher being a pathetic, nosy leech. Exactly. Like, it is not necessary for you to be this nosy. Don't you have anything better to do? Shouldn't you be studying? That's what you should be doing. So anyway, and then, when he's like, oh my gosh, would it really be appropriate when Feng Qing is like, would it be really appropriate for the guest to stand? I love Qing Yu. He's like, what guest? Because according to Tan Chi he's well acquainted. This isn't guest. So, he cool. He could stand. And then, of course, teacher was like, you're crossing the line here. And Qing Yu is like, you made yourself very easy to bully. Like you handed yourself to me on a platter. The well. To the well. I promise once we get to the end of this book, once we've met all the characters and everything, we will have the chart ready to rank all of the characters based on how we feel. And he is definitely going on to the well. Like, I just don't see him having a turning point. Maybe he does, but right now, he can go to the well. And so eventually, Tan Chi is trying to get his lick back by saying, I'm taking the exam and, you might have all the smarts and stuff. You think you're above me, but look, I can take the exam and you can't. And Xingyu is like, this man is jealous. I see. And so he just smiles and he's like, bye. You're so pitiful. Like, I don't want to deal with you anymore. And I just love how his brain thought back to Wan Cheng's words that were basically like, you're above him. It would be a waste of time. I was like, yeah, that's right. You remember those words. So then we get on, the doctor, he just gave a regular prescription or whatever. And then he was like, thinking that if some of the ingredients were altered, then the prescription might be twice as effective. And I was like, look at you being caring. I'm no longer going to say it's just because you have a physician's heart. You truly care about Wan Cheng's health because look at you thinking about how it could be altered so that he can recover faster, right? That was very, very sweet. And then even later down the line, we do have a statement, though, that I kind of wanted to address. Well, it was like an inner thought, not necessarily a statement, but for everybody else that was around, like panicking about Wan Cheng not waking up and being, having his fever, they were concerned. And it says only those who hadn't made proper mental preparations would find it strange when someone close to death perished. So yes, I think to say specifically would find it strange, that would be ridiculous. Like if you already knew they were going to pass, then yes, you shouldn't find it strange. However, regardless of how much preparation a person does mentally, you can't prepare for someone's death. You just can't. Like I was prepared for my grandfather to die for what, 2 years? Because it was up and down, up and down. He's better, he's worse. He's better, he's worse. Prepare the funeral, And then finally it happened, and there was nothing that could prepare me for that. I didn't find it strange, but it was still difficult to deal with. So I was just like, that's a really apathetic point of view. But at the same time, he is a physician. So I know that sometimes they may feel like they need to detach themselves emotionally because they're constantly dealing with death, constantly dealing with sick people and stuff like that. So it's like if they were to invest emotionally every single time with every single patient, that would be an overwhelming job. Like, oh my freaking God, I don't know. I could not do that. So then, anyway, moving forward, we get to the next page, and there was something that was said. Oh, before I say that, I also want to put that Qingyu is deciding he's going to make his own medicinal concoction into pills for Wanchong. Very exciting. So we get to the next page, and of course, Lady Liang, she's not visiting, right? Because they had their little tit for tat, and she's still terrified, doesn't want to see him. If anything, she is happy. She and Auntie Liu are happy that he has a fever. How bad of a mother? You said, "Oh, you're late." It's okay. We just started chapter 1, so you're not terribly late. And technically, this is around the time that I would be starting, but because of the work that I have to do, we're starting on time. We're starting more on time. You love the outfit? Thank you. So, yeah, like literally we only started about 6 minutes early and made it through 4 pages. So another thing that was pointed out on page 123 that I highlighted because it was like the realest line ever. A mother-in-law and daughter-in-law's relationship is a never-ending problem. If that ain't real, I remember when I first started dating my husband and his mom did not like me. I did not like her. I mean, we got things together by the time the wedding came and we're really good now. But I was like, this is something you hear about all the time. And of course, referring to Lady Liang and Qingyu. And it's just like, this is just the strife, especially in households where there are multiple wives or a wife and a concubine, multiple concubines, all of that crap. It's because, of course, Lady Liang does not like Wancheng for real, so she's not going to like Qingyu either. So anyway, they're happy because he's ill, and I just want to punch them in the face because what are we doing? In fact, y'all can go to the well as well. Anyway, once we get to the next page, we have Qingyu asking for the account books to help her out. That's what I have right there. And I was like, I don't know what's about to happen, but we'll see. So on page 124, we have Auntie Liu is coming to say like he wants to help, or somebody says he wants to help, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what to do. And Auntie Liu is like, he's trying to take your power. Then Lady Liang says, what can I do? I did say that I wanted him to take over household duties. How was I to know he'd actually be capable? If I had a sticky note that said stupid, just real big, because mine says you're an idiot, a big fat idiot on tiny. But if I could just see her, I'm going to use my body just so you can see, but I would just tack it right on her forehead. That's a risk. That was a risk of you doing this. You were immediately expecting, just because you did your not thorough research on his background and him never doing accounting work. You never expected the possibility because he is super smart, because he has an eidetic memory. After after the first time that he checked these account books, like, I don't know. It just, your daughter already said last time that he had an eidetic memory. So, I don't know. He's the son of a physician. He's very, very smart. And as we know in later chapters, apparently this is common knowledge. So, okay, let me see. You sent many to the well in these chapters. To the well. I wish I had a doll that I could just fling, but I'm not going to use my teddy bears like that because I love all of my teddy bears. He said, lady, this is your own fault. You put yourself in this predicament. Exactly. Teacher and the lady are roommates in the well. Yep. They are roommates down there. And now that they're down there, I'm thinking about pouring a whole bunch of water just to freak them out. You said, "Hi, everyone. I just listened for now. I'm still on the clock." Hey, it was Stephanie, right? I want to make sure I'm remembering your name correctly. Welcome, Stephanie, if that was the right name. You said, plus his husband has his back. Period. So, anyway, clearly, Auntie Leo has not had enough because she was like, "Well, lady, I'm thinking we can do a little something something." And Lady Leong should have listened to her gut because she didn't want to. She said no. Okay? She said, "Lu Wanchong already warned me. If he found out, I'm afraid he'd." But she decided to listen to Auntie Liu because Auntie Liu was like, "But he's ill right now." Okay. But we don't know if he's going to wake back up. What do you think is going to happen after he wakes up? You want your momentary gratification for a potential setback in the future if he wakes up? Okay, fine. I was like, we just know it's not going to work out. That's all I know. And even my note, I was like, thank goodness for Zhang Shichuan, although we know how those things go. So anyway, we have Lady Liang summoning Qingyu when he was about to do the stereotypical medicine feeding, which I was so upset about because Wan Cheng was not taking his medicine. Even like, I think he spat it up. No, he furrowed his brow and he spat it out. Yeah. So Hualu was like, he's not taking his medicine. And Tingyu was like, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, yay. I mean, I didn't think it was about to do, what did Yan Wushi call it? Lip cup. I didn't think he was about to do that, but just the simple art of, the love interest being the one to feed the medicine and, the man actually taking the medicine, and she ruined that moment. So another reason for her to go down the well. To the well she goes because she ruined that. I was very excited about that. So then when he finally gets there, she's like, she's like, is he feeling any better? Love Qingyu. He's no holds bars with anyone. He said, if you got something to say to me, just get to the point. What do you want? Love it. You think about that often? I'm like, it's got to happen at some point during this series, right? Right? And so he's like, get straight to the point. So then, basically, their little scheme, because they got the account books back or whatever, and it said that there is a page missing from the account books, and it is the page that has the revenue and expenses of the restaurant that's missing. And Tingyu, he's just like, shouldn't be. And so, hold on. Did I mix some things up? No, I didn't. He's like, it shouldn't be. And so then, the steward is like, oh my gosh, death by punishment is so horrible. These are so important. Please don't do this. And he's like, well, I mean, that's a little drastic, but if you want to die, go ahead. I love Qingyu so much. I still love Wan Chang like slightly over him, but I love Tingyu's personality. And he's just like, I'm not finna fold for anyone, okay? Like, at this rate, the only person he's really folded for in this household is, of course, Wan Chang. So he said yes. And so eventually, he returns back to the manor because he said, okay, I'll have everyone look. And I think Lady Liang was like, why he just so docile? Why he agree so readily? I don't know. And it's me, I'm like, listen to your gut. Listen to your gut, girl. You finna get yourself in some trouble. Strike one. No, strike two. I don't know. Strike three? How many strikes has this woman gotten? Anyway, bow to Sass Master. Oh my gosh. I actually love that Neko. Like, oh my gosh. Also, do you mind if I only say one Neko? because I didn't ask for permission to do that. Neko neko. But I'm just thinking about this tier list. What was it the person said? I'm getting off track. For our character tier chart, it was characters that have like super sass, that we love. And oh, they said salt that fish. But I don't know, bow to the sass master. I really like that. I'm gonna have to think on the titles. Bow to the sass, typing with one hand, master, because that was amazing. I love that. You ain't even, I don't, you said go right ahead with just one echo. It's fine. Okay. As long as you approve. So then he returns to Lan Feng Pavilion and he hears the laughing, right? Because Wan Chang is awake. And what did he do? He breathed a sigh of relief. I was like, yeah, you're relieved he's awake. Look at you. Yep. I also like bow to the sass master, right? It was so dope. I was like, I'm feeling that. So, yeah, he's relieved that he's awake and joking, right? Then we have this huge little bit. It don't look pretty, but I'm gonna still show you on my page the lines, the brackets that I made. I started to make them longer than they needed to be. I did it on one side and I was like, crap, that was an accident, but I got to make them look kind of the same on the other page. So I made the incorrect line on the other side. Okay. Got to be disproportionate together. But the other thing that I wanted to say is that Wan Chang, when he saw Qing Yu entered, it says it was as if his husband had been watching the door. And I was like, you know what? In any time that we have gotten things from Qing Yu's perspective, I don't think he's ever said husband. Like, I would have expected him to be like, it was as if Lu Wan Chang had been watching the door. So I just want to point that out, that in his perspective of things, it was as if his husband had been watching the door. Y'all see me? You see? Okay, okay. Is it just me getting excited? Okay, okay. So then we move forward to this big old glob that I have here. And let me just make sure I'm following my notes, because sometimes, like, what did I just say? Whole scene. Okay, yes. Qing Yu apologizes. What did I just say? Qing Yu has not been bowing to anyone in this household except for Wan Chang. Why? Because in this moment, we have him awake, and Qing Yu is just like, okay, well, now that you got so much energy, take your own medicine. Don't let other people, it's not just me, don't let other people have to feed you constantly. He was like, well, it's not like I asked you, so why are you upset? And then Qing Yu was like, you know what? I didn't mean to be angry. It's just a force of habit. I'm sorry. I was like, he apologized? Mind you, Wan Chang did not care about the whole thing at all. But I was like, he apologized. And so, big moment in my mind's eye. And, he was just like, were you disappointed that I failed in dying? And he was like, a little, I was. I was like, y'all are funny. And he was like, sorry, it was an accident. I was like, okay. So then, the apology. What? Exactly. So then we move to chapter 12, which, look at us. I think we're making good time. So in chapter 12, we have that Qing Yue is really thinking on why he's making this medicine for Wan Chang, even though Wan Chang himself doesn't even care about his life or death. He's also thinking about why in the world Wan Chang apologized to him. Like, was he apologizing because he ain't die, or was he apologizing because he didn't die fast enough for him to, take the imperial exam? He's like, I don't understand. I still have a couple of months. But then he's also like, why am I working so hard on this? Like, the guy doesn't even care about his life or death. Like, what am I doing? All I gotta do is be patient and wait for him to die. I'm like, you're thinking about this. You're wanting to help him. You're working so tirelessly about this because you care. That's okay to care about human life, And also, like it says, Wan Chung was innocent in the whole arranging of this marriage. And so he doesn't really want to hurt someone who's innocent because he could have been and poisoned him by now, really could have. But anyway, they get to a point where they're talking for a second, and Chingyu is just like, I mean, if you really want to die, you could just, nah, I mean, you know what I mean, in case no one knows what nah mean means. and and he's like, basically, I don't want to commit suicide because if I do that, I'm gonna have to work in the afterlife. And I was like, sir, okay. Oh, okay, fine, cool. You you don't want to have to do labor because those who commit suicide don't make it into heaven. They instead have to work and they don't get to reincarnate. And he was like, I'm not afraid of death, but I am afraid of being tired from working. I was just like, sir, you are beyond funny. And the crazy thing is, like, so it's interesting to hear this because we know, like, a lot of different religions believe in reincarnation. And a lot of different religions, I believe, also have this belief that if you commit suicide, then you don't make it to heaven, you don't get to reincarnate. And even in the Christian religion, people believe that you go to hell, even though there's no scripture to back that statement up. And we even have someone who was used by God who asked for something to be done that would result in his death, which was like suicide. Okay. And God fulfilled his request. By the way, that's Samson I'm talking about. But I was just like, at least he won't now. I'm guessing college student now. But yeah, it's just like, okay, yeah, sure. So, just very interesting to hear about, like, I think I would hate to have to work in the afterlife as well. Like, when I die, I just want to rest. Okay? I just want to rest and be done with it. I know that technically speaking, based on, Christianity, we're supposed to be in heaven wherever heaven is. We have this, oh, heaven's in the sky and hell is below the earth. Like, we just like to say things, even if we don't necessarily have the scriptural basis for it. But wherever heaven is, sure, I'd like to go there, but, we'll see. So I don't want to be working. Anyway, I digress so much. We have the account books being given to Zhang Shichuan, and he does his thing. Okay, he does his thing. And then he even made sure that he locked up the books. He counted the pages, like everything. He was like, they're not going to find a page missing this time. Right? There's a page missing. There is a page missing. How lovely. He said, because the amount of all-nighters I've pulled to get through studying for getting assignments done for college. Yeah, I remember those days sometimes when I would procrastinate and I shouldn't have. But we've all, anyone who's been to college, we've been down that road. Anybody who's taken, some courses, I'm sure we've all been down that road. It's just like, wait until the last minute. So, yes, pages are missing. And at first, when it said he made an uneasy expression, I thought he was pretending. Like, my note literally says, he's definitely pretending to be uneasy. We know later that he was not pretending. He was actually a bit uneasy. It does add up. But he was uneasy, and then he asks for one more chance. He's like, I know I messed up the first time. I know I messed up the second time. Give me one more chance. One more chance. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all know the song? I don't remember the rest. If anyone knows that song or remembers that song, please tell me the name and the artist. Otherwise, at some point, I'll have to Google, sing it into Google because, man, now I want to hear it. Why did I do that to myself? So anyway, Lady Leong is like, no, you can't manage the account books this time because you clearly don't. You know the song? Okay, you know the song. Do you remember the name or the artist? Because I don't. And so she's like, you're not doing the account books, which obviously, in a real scenario, if this wasn't some kind of setup, I would totally agree. But anyway, she was like, instead, the noble consort Chun's birthday is coming up, so why don't you handle her gift instead? Hey. To which, you know, Chingu is just like, okay. And there's still this like nagging feeling like he's just so cool about everything. Thank you, Suki. Like, why is he so cool about everything? So we learned that giving this gift is not a simple matter. The gift's value must be equivalent to the gifts that have been given to the non-on residents. It can't be too extravagant because it'll look like, trying to curry favor, which is absolutely inappropriate. And then, of course, it can't be lesser value because then it's like you don't have any respect, right? So we move forward and we get to these are the Manners Winter books. Um, oh, I think I skipped some stuff. Hold on. Yeah, I did skip. Oh, no, I didn't. I just didn't point out necessarily that blah blah blah. Because what I originally thought was that so here was what I thought. The first time a page was missing, I thought it was done intentionally. And I thought for some reason that maybe he did this so that he could, get another shot and get more books because Zhang Shichuan was like, there's something going on, but I wouldn't be able to tell unless I had more months. So I thought this was like a part of his scheme to get all of that stuff. And then eventually he was given the Manners Winter books. But again, that was not his actual scheme. Because I was like, why does my note say this? Okay, so anyway, yeah, we can move forward. I thought he was still scheming something, but the missing pages was not a part of his scheme. So then, hold on. Make sure I flip to the correct page. Okay. So then we get to page 136. What do I say? Wan Chung is excited for Qing Yu's return. After he's done meeting with the terrible Lady Liang, he goes back to Lan Fang Pavilion, and Wan Chung is excited. He's excited. And in fact, it says specifically when he heard the young lord is back, Lu Wancheng looked toward the door to watch Lin Qingyu come in, finishing the rest of his medicine in one gulp. And I was like, oh, that's so adorable. That's just how I felt about that. So anyway, Qingyu says that someone in the Lanfang Pavilion is loyal to Lady Liang and scheming, plotting against them. And then Wancheng is like, oh, it's probably just Feng Qin. And Hualu is like, no, Huan Tong is like, my lord, why you wait till now to say something? Which I'm like, yes, why? But then also, I agree with Huan Chong, who was surprised. He was like, I mean, she staffed everybody. Like, aside from Hualu, everybody was staffed by her. So everybody would be loyal to her then. Y'all didn't know this, but they didn't. So it was just like, so, instead of arguing about this, Qingyu was just like, thanks for the reminder. Now we know. Boom. There is Give Me One More Chance by Exile. Not sure if it's the exact one, but that is one I can't remember exactly. Okay. Just depending on where we get, remind me at actually, I'm almost done with chapter 2. So I think, because these chapters were pretty like breezy, I think, even though it was a lot happening. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up after we finish this chapter because it's going to irk me. There's also One More Chance by Janet Jackson. I don't think this one is by her. I'm also trying to remember where I heard it. It was definitely in a Disney movie. Was it in Lizzie McGuire? Probably not. We will figure it out. Because I hate it when there's a song that's like on the tip of my tongue and this information or anything that's on the tip of my tongue and I can't get it. It just irks me to death. So we're going to figure it out. Then we move to page 137. Yep. Okay, I have a highlight where we get past them talking about Feng Qin being in Lady Liang's pocket. Um, we're at this point where Huan Tong is like, well, I'm gonna go confront her right now. And Ting Yu is just like, nah, just let her be. Let her do whatever the heck she wants. And so Huan Tong is like, why? And Wan Chung comes in and he was like, let me guess. Does somebody want to do something bad? And Ting Yu, he's like, she started it. And so Wan Chung watched Lin Qingyu with mirth in his eyes. And I just thought that part was so hilarious because it's like he already knows. I don't know. I just imagine it playing out to be such an adorable thing. Like, are you finna do something bad? She started it. But then he goes on to say, don't worry, Physician Lean. You're beautiful, even doing bad things. I just had to underline that because I was like, So anyway, of course, Huan Tong is like, don't talk about my lord like that. My lord is, the sweetest, kindest person there could ever be. Hey, Binza! He's like, my lord is the sweetest, kindest person there could ever be. How could you possibly say this about my lord? And I love this part on page 138 because we have here where it says, why did I put 138? Okay. That Huan Tong had grown up with Lin Qingyu, but clearly he didn't know Qingyu's hidden thoughts. Meanwhile, Wan Chung, someone that he's only been with for some months, already sees through him. Now, of course, we know because he's a transmigrator. It still has not been confirmed, but we know that he done read this novel. So that's why he knows what's up. I'm just waiting for the moment where this is confirmed for me. And it's driving me crazy how we go past each chapter and certain things are said, yet it is still not confirmed. I'm like, BKB, are you trolling me? I think you're trolling me for real. So anyway, but it said that from this, he felt like he had some sort of confidant because, yeah, you have someone in your corner that knows the real you. Not just the good parts of you, but also I won't even say bad parts, but the parts of you. So I thought that was very funny. And just like funny, not haha funny, but like funny and the other way we would use the word funny. And then even closing out the chapter because he was still thinking about this later. And Wan Chung looked and he saw him and stared at him for a long time, entranced. I can't do the whole like one eyebrow raise where it like goes up really high, so I'm just gonna like, there we go. But I was like, he was entranced. Was he? Okay. And then we have him acting like, what's wrong with you? And Tingyu is like, if the bad thing that I want to do is to poison someone or even take someone's life, would you still think I was beautiful? And Luan Chung was just like, I mean, he was like, of course, I love the way you look when you use poison. I'm like, how you know what he looked like when he uses poison? You ain't ever seen him use poison. And then the sentence before that says that his, he flinched slightly, his breath concealing a hint of excitement and anticipation. Now, it could be just, him anticipating this moment coming. But of course, I'm like, anticipation because you already know what he's going to do? Huh? So again, trolling me, BKB. Just tell me he's a transmigrator. Let him confess to Qingyu that he came from another world and this is a novel. Well, he may not say all of that, but... So anyway, we have officially made it to... I love these emojis and stuff y'all are using because... Oh, I don't think you ever answered my question. WNML 20. It was Stephanie, right? I mean, I would assume so because you didn't correct me, but just in case, I want to know. Okay, let me look up this thing really quickly. Hopefully, Google will actually get it because I don't know the words or remember the melody that much. He literally said the word novel. Exactly. And we pointed that out whenever whatever chapter that was in, we pointed it out. Oh, the woman that, she said that I ranked it the top 5 in the novel. It was like, sir. Oh, so I was right. Yay! Okay. All right. One more chance. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like these ain't it. The titles don't even. Nope. Okay, let me try YouTube. I'm sorry, you guys. This is like a slight detour. Okay, let's try it one more time. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. No. 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 It's not it. All right. I'll figure it out at some other time, you guys. Because I would have to sing it again to make the results come back up. When he mentions using poison, yeah. What about it? Oh, shoot, that was the end of that chapter. I said these chapters were kind of breezy. When he mentions using poison. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when people do some stuff like that, it is pretty hot. Like I even think about back to something that happened in QJJ without saying what it is. It was like, oh, that's badass. That's like kind of sucky, but really hot. If it makes you feel any better, I have been looking for a song for years. Still haven't found it. I usually accomplish my goal, even if it takes me 48 hours. So, like, I'm gonna figure it out. I wish I just remembered the words after one more chance, because if I did, I would just type into Google one more chance of something, whatever it was. One more chance to something dance. All right, I'm gonna just leave those there. GG. I'm getting sidetracked. So we move on to chapter 13. If I figure this out, I'm gonna let y'all know on all the platforms. I'm gonna let y'all know. Chapter 13. We get a little bit of information about the palace again. How to get it out of my system. LOL. So we have the crown prince is the emperor's eldest son. Okay, makes sense. And the noble consort is his mom, who is also the emperor's favorite concubine, and she is only below the empress. She ain't got to answer to nobody else. I only know one more time. I love that. So I know it's not that because I know that one. He said, please, I need to know the song. Okay, hold on. Let me click this really quick. Definitely not that. What? What about this? Definitely not that. Gigi. I don't know, you guys. One chance to dance? No. Cold Heart one more dance? Once I don't think so, but okay, I'm just looking one more time, and if not, we'll move on. No, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna just do it later. I'll make sure that I get it. If I don't, then I will be greatly disappointed in myself and my song lookup abilities. So in chapter 13, again, we get this information, and then we have Tingyu. He's mentioning, yeah. So Tingyu, were certain gifts given to Nanan are. He knows that there are certain gifts that have been given to non-on residents, but he's not seeing them recorded. So like he's like, according to the records that were given to me, no, there's currently in the record, but he's like, according to the records, the Eastern Palace bestowed a pair of mutton fat jade scepters. Where are they? And what were they used for? Um, they were delivered to the Minister of National Defense to celebrate him on his son's wedding. Then it was like 1,000-year-old ginseng received from the noble consort Chun that was used to nourish Wancheng. So these are some pretty valuable things, right? But they're nowhere in Nan'an anymore, which is pretty interesting to know that a gift that was given to their household, they decided to give it to someone else, something of that great of a value coming from the palace. But whatever, that's fine. So we have, okay, the actual Empress's son was born intellectually incapable, is how they word it. So he has some sort of mental disability that affects his intellect. Don't know what it is. No, we don't have a footnote. No footnote. Um, but let me look it up. Oh, wait. Make sure I type it in right. Mutton, fat, jade, scepter. Alrighty. I have an image. Give me just a moment to browser. I'm gonna just call this, oopsie, screen share. Is this how I would do it? Right? And then input the URL. I think. Oh. Oh, look at me doing something live that I haven't done before. So here we go. Something along these lines, which I've seen these before. Okay. Is it letting me zoom in? Oh, it's not zooming in when I do it. But this is basically what it is, I guess. So now I'm just gonna turn that off. And then make sure y'all can still see me like regular. Why is the volume up on that? Oh. Okay. That shouldn't be sharing on the screen anymore. Okay, good. We're good. You said, well, I think it's a special white jade. I'm assuming it's referring to the color. I believe the jade would be like the hint of green in there, at least in that one thing we saw, but it's like cream, but at the same time, a hint of green underneath. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. Now we will continue on. Once I find my spot. Okay. Because the Empress's son was intellectually incapable, we all know what that means. Nobody No, this is a generalization, but I do know that in China, this was actually an issue because it's something that I did for a research paper that I had. But when it comes to anything mental health or, mental disabilities, a lot of times, especially in history and even in more recent years, when someone has those kinds of things, they are shunned drastically, drastically shunned. So, of course, the emperor does not like his son. He shows no love and care for his son because he is mentally inept. He's not there all the way. So, this, of course, makes the empress resent noble consort Chun and the crown prince. Okay. And then we have when Wan Cheng figures out what Qingyu is doing, he shows concern. And Qingyu is just like, I don't remember you having any ties to the Eastern Palace. Like, why are you so concerned about everything? And so he basically is just like, I mean, it's the Eastern Palace. This is a future emperor. That's cause for concern. And he's like, but yeah, but the empress is your aunt by blood, number one. And the crown prince is a part of the family, basically. I think she's the crown prince's nominal mother. She was like, you guys, like, he's your cousin, and he was like, yeah, I don't want a horribly greasy cousin like that. So I'm like, okay, what do you know that we don't know? What did you read in your novel? Just tell us, okay? That I do not know, as far as green um, being the most precious color. I'll be honest though, I really, really like green. I like green pendants and all of that stuff. Is it? Could you guys tell that I like green at all? Could you? Hmm? Okay. Let us continue. So, anyway, he's concerned about him having to give the gift. And then we eventually move to another scene where Lady Liang she's about to have breakfast with the Marquis. And so she's like, oh, go and summon Qingyu as well. So instantly we know she's about to set some fireworks off with something, right? Whatever her master plan is, she's getting ready to take care of it now. You said, Qingyu, begging you to remember when Wan Cheng suspiciously said you stood against the Eastern Palace, and now he's freaking out again. Yeah, and that thing though, he just thinks of it as Wan Cheng speaking nonsense. And I'm just like, you could at least inquire, Qingyu, ask some questions. So, green is actually the most common color. Mutton fat is actually pretty rare and thus considered extremely precious, which it is here, right? Such a valuable gift. Thank you for that, for letting us know about green being one of the most common colors. And so, yeah, we know whatever she's planning. Okay, fine, whatever. So, we have. Okay, yeah, so they're eating or whatever. And hold on. So the Marquess is sitting down, of course, and Tingyu comes in and he was like, this may seem like an unimportant matter, but this is actually a big deal. So let's go ahead and see what gift, let Li Tingyu come in so we can see what gift he's prepared and everything. And Tingyu is like, here, you can have a look. And he gives it to Feng Ting. In this box for the consort is the family heirloom that even the emperor refused. So I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, what's happening now? Because as much as I root for Tingyu and his smarts and devising a plan and everything, I'm still like, he could fall victim to something. So I'm just like really concerned, right? And we even get to a point where it's like, His Majesty is most wary of close connections between powerful officials and the crown prince. Do you know what terrible catastrophe you almost caused? Which we all know, of course, no emperor wants their sons, but especially the crown prince, to gain too much power because so many crown princes are trying to get rid of the emperor before his time is up. So obviously, it makes sense that he wouldn't want anyone getting too close to the crown prince. So then Tingyu is just like not trying to cause trouble at all. And he is trying to cause trouble, but only in the house, not in the palace. But he's definitely stirring up trouble intentionally in the house. So what we have is that this 500-year-old gift to the consort is this painting, beautiful painting, supposedly. Marquis says that it is common knowledge that the head imperial physician Ling's son has acute intelligence. This is why I'm just like, Lady Liang must be very stupid to have set this whole scenario up thinking that you were going to catch him in something. Because it's common knowledge that he has acute intelligence. Even your husband is saying that right now and thinking that Qingyu has deliberately done this. Which I honestly have to applaud the Marquess for being suspicious and knowing the person he is speaking with. And he's like, no, you're really smart. You doing this on purpose? Yes, he is. Just not for the reason you think. And so, of course, we have Lady Liang is trying to add more fuel to the fire. So she's like, giving the look for Auntie Liu to go ahead and speak up about the account books. This was the time for this. But what's wrong with Auntie Liu? She's got the itchies crawling up her body. And the lady of the house is like, would you look at yourself? Like, get it together. We're in front of the Marquess. Like, you can scratch your itch later. So she's the one who ends up having to speak up herself. But anyway, we have that Tingyu, he mentions the priceless gifts received by the crown prince and all that stuff, to which the painting is of equal value. And it's not in the book. The Marquess is like, it's not recorded here. The hell are you talking about? And he's like, you're right. It's not recorded here. And that's the problem. So then, of course, we have Lady Liang is like, are you really? Lizzie McGuire did do a Disney movie. Yeah, I know. I was thinking if it was in that movie or not. I just couldn't remember. But I don't remember. You're still on the song. But actually, since you mentioned it, let me at least pull it up. The Lizzie McGuire movie soundtrack. Just in case it's there. Copy. Paste. Why not? Okay, I'll look at that in a second. After we finish this chapter, I think, maybe. We'll see. So she's like, are you really trying to frame someone right now? Like, how pathetic can you be, basically? And so then, let me just make sure I'm not skipping anything in my notes. Yeah, like I said, she mentions the account books. And then, next thing you know, as I put it, Auntie Liu breaks out into a break dance on the ground. That's not really what happened, but she's itching so much to the point now that she can't bear it, and she's ripping off her clothes and like, oh my gosh, your itch is so bad. Oh, what's happening to me? And then everybody's like, oh my God, like what the heck is happening? What's going on? And of course, Lady Liang is like, oh my gosh, too. Like she's super concerned, and they're like, servants, what's happening? And of course, she tried to immediately punish him, and that's when all of this stuff happened. So it never even got to this point. Um, yeah. So then we have Feng Qin join her and break dancing on the floor. I can't break dance, you guys. So then Tingyu goes on to say that since a page went missing that first time around, yes, that he went ahead and figured, you know what? Someone has tampered with this stuff. So what does he do to catch them in the act? He and Wan Cheng were like, idea. Let's infuse the pages with the that have this specific gift on them, and put poison on them, so that anyone who touches the substance, they will feel itchy all over their body, and basically a bunch of like bumps on the skin that are, I think, filled with pus. Their pustules, is it says here, will grow on their skin. And he's like, it's not fatal, but it's definitely a life worse than death. Crazy, right? Itching powder. Brilliant. I would hate to be in like a never ending itch. I would hate it. So then we have yeah, I think I put here, yes, he effectively set up Auntie Liu and Feng Qin. Glad to see the Marquess understood immediately what happened. Like, it didn't take much. After he said what he said, about before the poisoning and then after the poisoning, and he told people, don't touch the records that Lady Liang delivered, and then of course the it says the Marquess, he was shrewd. He understood what was going on after connecting the so-called coincidences, and he looked at her and she was befuddled. And I was just really happy to see this, because it would have been kind of annoying if he was still an idiot. Like, I don't know. Why did you, if he would have focused on the wrong thing, like, oh my gosh, why did you poison my servants or something stupid like that? Like, I feel like it would have happened in another Danmei somewhere. But here, he is a very shrewd person. So he's like, no, I see what's happening. You framed him. That's exactly what it is. And so, of course, she's like, no, he's just trying to frame me. And it's like, no, actually, you could just say that he was framing Auntie Liu and Feng Qin. He's not trying to frame you. They're the guilty party. But, of course, we know it leads back to them. And he's like, I can give you the antidote, Auntie Liu. All you got to do is tell me where the paper's at. That's all you got to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you the antidote. You're going to be itching for a lifetime. So, anyway, we move on. Where am I? So she confesses that Lady Liang had her burn. And of course, Lady Liang is like, they're under duress. So their testimonies, they aren't valid. And so he's like, okay, get Stuart Wong into the room. I didn't do anything to him. He's conscious. He could just tell you the truth, can he? Absolutely brilliant. Using that as a trade-off. So he's like, go ahead and let him tell you the truth. But they end up needing to go to court. So afterward, the Marquess did indeed interrogate Stuart Wong. And we find out that night, Lady Liang was kneeling in the ancestral hall all night to the point that she fell sick. Karma. Wasn't that what Auntie Liu said when Wan Cheng fell sick? Karma? I believe so. It's a bitch, they say. So, we have Qingyu and concubine Pan being left to take care of all the household affairs. And the Marquess clearly sees their intelligence, and so he is okay with handing these matters over to them. Then we have Wan Cheng's health improving once again, right after all of this stuff has happened. And he even got new medicine made by Qingyu. So I just think it's hilarious that when he got this medicine by Qingyu, when was it Hualu that told him that, he immediately spit it out. I was like, you think he poisoned you? And so Tingyu was coming in at that, and he's like, what are you doing? Like, you can't even take your medicine properly, but he's still comforting him by patting him on the back or whatever. And then Wancheng is like, are you poisoning me? And he's like, yep, you need to die a little faster. But then he takes it and he just takes it to the head. And he's like, no, if you wanted to poison me, you would have done it sooner. Like, you would have done it by now. Clearly, you think that there was something amiss or something that could have been better about the prescription that was given to me, and you've decided to alter it. Period. Boom. So then we move on, and I was just like, yeah, Wancheng is so smart. So Tingyu is upset because he's been called out for caring, essentially. And he's like, well, drink it or no. See if I care. You definitely care. You definitely care. Okay. So then we move forward, and this medicine is not only going to give Wancheng 6 more months of life on top of the 6 that he had left, it is also going to make his passing, like when he gets closer to it, a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. He's not going to be as distressed physically, probably mentally. So I was just like, that's so nice. I love that he's thinking ahead. And so then, hold on. Did I miss something? Oh, we have it said that Qingyu missed the exam. This time it is too late. But that's okay, because he can take it again next time it comes. And then as we move forward, we have it here at the bottom of this page where it says, there is a footnote, so I'm going to share it. Qingyu was basically like, I don't want you to misunderstand my like goal behind doing this. I don't want you to think, I don't know, that I've fallen for you or I have some kind of sympathy or something like that. He's just like, one's life is exceptionally precious, worth 1,000 taels of gold. Saving a life is a virtuous deed more valuable than that. Which is a heavy line, like dang, again, yes. But this comes from this comes from Essential Formulas Worth 1,000 in Gold for Emergencies, written during the Tang Dynasty by physician Sun Simiao. Just so you guys know that. So he was quoting someone. And then Wancheng is like, yeah, but like, you can't save my life. And he's like, yeah, I know. But as long as I do my utmost as a physician, as someone who values human life, and you're innocent in this whole arrangement, mind you, I will do my utmost. And then I can reflect on this in the future without shame and without regret. Like, if I'm not doing as much as I can to help you, what kind of person am I then? It would be different if you knew about this warding off marriage and you were like, yeah, get it done. But you weren't doing that. You love that Qingyu is being a sincere and getting pissed off when he gets called out for being nice to Wancheng. Like, just admit it. Yes. Yes. Oh, also, hi. It's Sue. Hey. You said, right? Aw, right? So then we get a little later down the page where, Wancheng is like, so if I take this medicine, will I be able to lift you? Will I be strong enough to lift you? And Qingyu is like, has he really been so fixated on this thing? Like, what? He's like, is that really so important to you? You want to do that so bad? And he was like, I really want to. And and then he was like, well, give up. It's not going to happen in this lifetime. So I was like, okay, so it's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? We know that it's going to happen. But also, I just think it's so cute, of course, that he wants to just be able to lift him. But I also think that it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's realistic, because he was so distraught when he couldn't lift him before when Qingyu had sprained his ankle. He was like, dang, like, am I this physically weak that I can't even lift someone that looks light? Like, what are we saying? So I know that this would be like, just a booster in self-esteem for him, giving him a little bit more gusto. So I was like, yeah, I feel you, my guy. You'll be able to lift him. Don't listen to him when he says that you won't be able to. He's talking nonsense. Okay. So then we move on to the final chapter. So we're making very good time. I'm proud of myself. Now that everybody knows that Qingyu can poison them, even though they should have known that before, now that everybody knows that Qingyu will poison them, let's put it that way. They're not playing. They are not playing around, okay? Every little tiny thing they are bringing to him, like this is the flower that we're putting in the garden. Is this okay? Are these eggs good enough for breakfast? Like we're putting these tiles in the bathroom. Are they okay? And he's annoyed by that. But yeah, everybody is reporting everything honestly and very dutifully. They're very smart. Can and will. Don't cross him. Which, like I said, that's something I would have considered from the beginning if I was Lady Liang. I'm not messing with anybody that can kill me with poison and get away with it. Because even if he killed someone with poison and everyone knew that he was the one that did it, he could still escape unscathed depending on what he did if they can't even find the evidence. Like if someone just suddenly died, like, we know it was you. We know it was you. Prove it. Prove it. So it's just like, no. It's just like, I don't mess with people that make my food. Okay? Because I don't want them putting anything in it. I don't want them spitting in my food. I ain't messing with that. I'm just going to treat people kindly because I want to. But if we think about consequences and stuff, I am not messing with anybody that deals with stuff that I intake. Okay? Period. So we move forward. Qingyu asks for some stewards to help him manage the household affairs, to which Wancheng reminds him of his own words. And he's like, aren't you the one that said you can't rely on anybody? Didn't you say, like when in the future, when you're too lazy to sleep, eat, or get married and have children, will you have others do those things for you too? And I was just like, I love this guy so much. And then Qingyu is just like, things are different. Things are different now. And so he's like, okay, fine. I'll write a letter to my grandpa to get you some stewards to help you. Mm-hmm. She was warned by him. Yes. He was like, calm down. I just want to chill until I die. Yeah. Like he's already married. He's not going to take on anyone else. There is nothing for you to fear as far as you having a child take over from him, at least. Like, literally nothing to fear. He has barely any time left. So, we move on. And, like I said, Wancheng teased him a little bit. And then he was like, yeah, I can do that, but you have to grind the ink for me while I make this letter. And he thought that Qingyu was going to refuse. But he said, sure. To his surprise. But-a-do. So anyway, Wancheng's... Y'all, I can't read my own handwriting. What did I write? Smell! One of the things that Lu Wancheng realized is that his sense of smell has gotten better because previously he'd already smelled Qingyu, right? But this time around, he's smelling him again. And he's like, my sense of smell is getting sharper. So, number one, that's good, by the way, that his sense of smell is getting sharper. But I also just think it's funny that most times smell is mentioned, it's when it's referring to Qingyu. Like, I think it was mentioned 3 times. Once from him smelling the medicine and being like, this is different medicine, and then finding out it was Qingyu's. But then the other 2 times it has been mentioned, smell has been mentioned, it's been in regards to him smelling Qingyu. So, so, hold on. I have a highlight that is talking about Lu Wancheng's calligraphy. This is important. Cannot miss this point. You said one has to wonder, did they have two stories or tales about scheming stepmothers and how they end up? Maybe if they did, there would be less unnecessary scheming. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't want to get sidetracked again, so I'm not going to look it up right now. But let's see. So at the bottom, Yu, he's not paying attention to what's being written, but he does take note of Wancheng's amazing calligraphy skills. And it even says, it is said that one's calligraphy always resembles oneself. Lu Wancheng's penmanship was full of vitality, as unrestrained as clouds in the sky, as free-flowing as a stream. And he was like, it's hard to imagine that it was produced by a man plagued with chronic illness. So I'm like, well, this is his true nature. At first when reading it, I'm like this, because it said that it takes great practice, consistent practice to have such amazing calligraphy. And I'm like, okay, cool. Definitely must have been something that he could do before. So then, what do we have? We have, I think it was Huan Tong that eventually came in and was like, oh my gosh, your calligraphy looks so amazing. And he was like, it's all right. Amazing is a bit too strong, my guy. And then Ting Yu is like, it looks like you've put a lot of effort into practicing. And what does he say? Yep. And I also want to make sure I'm staying on top of my notes. Yes. So then he goes on telling them, because Ting Yu is like, would you ever really be in a mood to practice something like this? And then so he's like, oh, I was forced to practice it when I grew up. I was a hyperactive child, and my dear mother heard that practicing calligraphy could quiet the heart. So she put a lot of money into a famous calligrapher to tutor me. And, this really, he guided me in that and classic texts as well. And, my mother always strove to be the best and wanted me to be the best. So I learned how to play instruments and did chess, calligraphy, drawing. And I had to be first in everything. And then he was like, it was so sucky because I had to attend so many classes when I was young and I never got enough sleep. So then Huan Tong is like, oh my gosh, you really had it bad. You had to do all of that despite being sick. You were worse off than us servants. And I'm like, sir, he is not speaking about his current life. First off, as Ting Yu said, who is he referring to as his dear mother? Definitely not Lady Liang. That is not his dear mother, right? So then, again, making sure, yeah, okay, I'm good. So it's like, he's clearly talking about his life before he popped into this novel, whatever the name of this novel is. I'm wondering if at any point we're going to be in Wancheng's perspective. Like, I just need us to be. We got it for one moment-ish when he was facing Lady Liang and Auntie Liu. But for the most part, we just don't. I need to know where he comes from. I need this to be solidified for me. But okay. So anyway, after that whole conversation and, Ting Yu is like, he's just speaking nonsense again. He stares off into space, and he eventually gets ink on both Huan Tong and Ting Yu. And Ting Yu is just like, oh my gosh, dude, can't you be normal about anything? Maybe in the second book. I hope so. And so he's like, you can't be normal about anything. He's like, oops, my bad. So then he goes to he offers to clean it off of Ting Yu. There's some ink under Ting Yu's eye where his beauty mark is. Okay. First off, it says that Ling Ting Yu's long eyelashes fluttered beneath Lu Wancheng's fingers like butterfly wings. But then it says they were soft to the touch, making Lu Wancheng's fingertips tingle. Here is what my note says. The tingle! Funk Xiao knows all about that. Go ask him. For those of you who have read it, you know what I mean. Um, the tingle. It made his fingertips tingle. So, anyway, we move forward. Tingyu is like, get off of me. Like, your thumb isn't going to wipe it off. We got to get this done properly. So we move on where concubine Pan requests for Lin Tingyu to go to the front hall. That's where it was. So, of course, he's going. And Wan Chang watches as Lin Tingyu leaves. And he's trying to figure out what in the hell is going on in his own mind. Because he's staring after him. Then he's looking at his fingertips. And he's like, what the hell was that? It's called you forming a little crushy crush. Okay? That's what it is. You got the tingle fingers. Next comes the blatant crush. And then comes the blossoming love that we are all waiting for. So we get to the next scene, and Lady Pan, we learned that she, wait, hold on. That reminds me of a book I'm reading right now where they always get wild birds from being touched by the beauty. Oh, I like that. So, crap, where was I? Yes. Oh, yeah, I said that was the beginning of gay panic ensues. So, Lady Pan, we learn that she is from an official family, but their economic situation was not good and it was going on the decline for them. And so she ended up having to marry into the non-an residents in order to save them and everything. So we get that little bit. And we also learn that she is a very meek, very mild person, which is something that the Marquess likes about her. And honestly, it's something that he needs and clearly desires, which is why she is favored, you know? And I was just thinking about him being married to Lady Liang and how she is the exact opposite of that. And this isn't me talking about like roles of, you know, what a woman needs to do in a household and stuff like that. But when you are in situations where the man is out doing the labor in the household to take care of the wife, the kids, the dogs, the cats, whatever, he should be able to come home to a peaceful household. Like, I know in America, we have a saying, you know, where a lot of men are like, you know, I just want a woman to be my peace, which I don't think is possible. You need to be your own peace, and the woman will add to it. However, the last thing a man wants to come home to is a woman that's making a lot of racket and plotting a bunch of schemes against people that are smarter than her. So I was just like, go for you, concubine Pan, because you know, I mean, this is just your character probably, but you know what you're doing. You know what you need to do for this man to give him that break that he needs. So good for her. Peace after a long day. Then we have it said that Ting Ming is coming, which for anyone that doesn't remember, that's the tomb sweeping. That was not a footnote in the beginning. But that is coming. And typically speaking, the Marquess would, no, he did light 2 eternal lamps to be filial to his parents. So this says, the 2 eternal lamps lit in front of the ancestor spirit tablet to demonstrate respect and veneration. That's just a little footnote, which I feel like other than this one and the other one, we don't get very many footnotes. Also, I don't think I meant to say to his parents, but just to his ancestors in general. So that's what that footnote is. Oh no, it was for his parents at the Changsheng Temple in the countryside. And usually the Marchioness, Lady Liang, one second. Okay, no longer dying. Lady Liang would normally go to burn incense, pay her respects for the ancestors' blessing and protection, but she's yet to recover from her illness. Really? she's in isolation. That's really the case. She's probably healed from her illness, but she's in isolation because the Marquess is a proud man and she has done something that is very embarrassing, you know? So it's just like, deceiving, even trying to deceive him. It's like, this is a problem. So there's that. And then we get to the fact that the only person that it's appropriate to go would be Tingyu as the wife of Wan Chung. So then she tells him, because he's like, okay, I'll make the arrangement for the trip. And she says the roads are slippery when it rains. And I was like, okay. Now I got to look up and see if this is a common expression, because it was also said in QJJ. Someone said it to someone else. The roads are slippery when it rains. And again, it's a very simple statement, but it's something that has been said. And so I'm like, is this a common expression? I mean, at the very least, I know it just means 小心, be careful, But still, that's something that I want to look up. But in my late hour, I did not look it up. So anyway, we continue on. And we also learn a little bit more about Lady Pon, okay? She got by doing laundry and weaving. And at one point, it was really, really cold. Her mother got sick, and she begged Changxi He Apothecary 10 years ago for help. Changxi He Apothecary. Anybody remember who now goes there or works there? Just want to know, because of course this person wasn't mentioned. But that ring any bells for anybody? I'm gonna wait for y'all to comment. I'm waiting. Who's that trying to pick the beat? My guy. Yep. So anyway, yeah, Cheeter's family place. Yep, exactly. So I already was like, oh yeah, they didn't care about you. I was like, Tan Cheeter has to get his bastardness from somebody. Anyway, let's continue on. So she ended up getting harassed by someone outside of there, and it was actually Qing Yu's father who helped her out of that situation and healed her mother. So she's like, if there's anything you need, I'm there. Again, reminded of Wan Chung's words, he was like, hey, be good to her, just accept the gift. She might be on your side in the future. When you go against this Eastern Palace or whatever. Okay. So then we move on, and it's raining a lot because, rain is vital in all of the books that we're reading currently. But the rain hasn't let up. This is the issue. Hopefully it doesn't become a bigger thing. But it's raining, and Wan Chung is in a bad mood, which the rain doesn't help. Because we all, like, sometimes it's raining and you can just be kind of like, okay, well, I just want to relax. I just want to read. Like, this is a very comfy weather to chill. And then other times, especially when it's consistent rain, then it feels like, okay, now I'm depressed. So we have, yes, Wan Chung, who isn't responding when they're like, hey, it's time to take your medicine. So, of course, Qing Yu comes in, and he's like, I'll take care of it. To which Wan Chung is like, it's not working, because he asked what's going on. Right, gloomy. But he was like, okay, what's going on with you? Like, you've been like this too long, because he asked earlier. Wan Chung didn't respond. So he's like, okay, you don't want to talk, I'm not going to ask you again. But this time he asks again, and he was just like, I don't think it's working anymore. And Qing Yu is just like, what do you mean you don't think it's working? And he was like, I mean, it's not working. He's like, usually it's already happened when I wake up. You know what I mean? which of course morning wood. At first, when he said it's not working, I thought maybe he was talking about something else. Like because I'm so like I need confirmation of him being a transmigrator. I was like, what? Did he have some capacity to like dream and go like temporarily go back into his world or something, or could he like have like an omniscient view of things going on? Is that not working? But not me reading so deeply into things. But Tingyu is just like, no, he says it just won't get up these these last couple of days. Wanchung Jr. isn't working. You was thinking the medicine at first. And so then Tingyu is just like, bro, that's normal. It's okay. Like, and he was like, normal? But the other part of me was like, well, yeah, well, actually, it maybe I knew only because I was reading, and we've heard some things mentioned before about medicine that could affect arousal and stuff at some point in the series. So I was like, yeah, I mean, you should know this already, but technically speaking, no, this isn't something he would know. So of course he's like, wait, normal? What do you mean it's normal? So then of course he has to tell him like, this formula is it's improving things for you. Even though I improve the formula to improve things for you, there are certain ingredients that, are going to impact that, That's what I found with a quick search from Dufu's lines. It's impossible to fully protect oneself from rain. Clothes get cold and footsteps. I also want to highlight this really quickly. I mean, not highlight. I'm trying to copy and paste it. Can I? Okay. Yes, I can. Oops. Sorry. Hold on. I'm finna read that again, you guys. 1 second. Ooh. Okay. It's impossible to fully protect oneself from rain. Clothes get cold and footsteps become slippery. So 季无玉宇备，精华亦有寒. Okay. Thank you for looking that up. It's almost identical to the modern Tianyu Lu Hua. I don't know the Hua character, but I know the other ones. 1 second. Ayo! What's happening? Hua means to slip. Okay. Okay. Because Tianyu is basically, rain. Lu is road. Hua, slip. A slippery road on rainy days. For surfaces that become slippery due to moisture is more commonly used nowadays. Thank you very much, Stephanie, for looking all of this up for me while I'm trying not to get derailed by things because of time. So I appreciate you looking that up. I really like Dufu's lines, and I copied them, but I didn't save them. Let me just put them here, and I'll come back to it later. Okay, here we go. So then, but yeah, he's like, it's normal, and he was like, dude, for real, what's more important, like, don't get hung up on this. It doesn't matter. And so, of course, you don't have any use for it. And Wantong is like, no use for it. I don't need to be hung up on it. He's like, look, there's a difference in knowing that I don't have a use for it and knowing that I can't use it. Like, hold on, I'm not liking this. And I just thought that was hilarious. Of course, this was, I think all of that, no, he did say that out loud. And then Qingyu is just like, this is a matter of life and death. Like, let's put your pride aside and just focus on trying to get you to live longer. And even when you get to your death, it be more comfortable. And Qingyu's trying to argue with him. He's like, nope, shh, it doesn't matter. And so then he looks down at the bowl of dark liquid. He had wanted to say something but stopped, then made to open his mouth again. At last, he gave Lin Qingyu a thumbs up and said something the young lord didn't understand. Badass. Which is something, a term that did not exist in their time. So, that is the end of chapter 14, and I am proud of us because, hey, we made it. Look at me. Um, I made it through the chapters and didn't have to pause to let my hubba bubba do my work. So we made it through, and we have. Hold on. We have this Thursday. We'll be covering chapters 15 through 20. Oof, that's 6 chapters. I really be doing this to myself. Well, I really should have put more chapters that need to be done for Monday because it's, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, more days for me to read. I will have to revamp the February calendar that I sent out, just so you guys know, because my husband did ask me to attend something with him on the 22nd of February. And that was when I had a live reading scheduled, but that was literally going to be the 3rd live reading session, specifically with Patreon only. So typically I do 2 anyway. So I'm just going to take off that 3rd one, I think. Or no, take it off because we're doing a live reading of QJJ again, Patreon only, this Saturday, which I need to let y'all know about, but it's going to be at 11 a.m. But yeah, so Thursday we're meeting again at 2 p.m. And then Saturday we're meeting at 11 a.m. if you're on Patreon. And that's it as far as anything else I need to remind y'all about. I will eventually make the event for February Chinese New Year as well. I might put that up soon, actually, sooner than anticipated. How do you like the book so far? I am in love. Don't know why I needed to beat my chest to say that, but I greatly like this novel. And it was one of those novels, like, I know some novels take a second for you to like get into them, get to like them, but I really love novels that are able to capture me in the first paragraph, in the first page, and or in the first chapter, just in the firsts of everything, and my attention was captured in the first chapter. Not necessarily like the first paragraph. I was slightly interested on the first page, but then super interested just after I read chapter 1. And I like the way that the characters are written. And I actually think it's also very realistic as well, how they're written, emotionally speaking. Also, hold on, you guys, we are. Also, why aren't you sticking? Stick harder. It might be because I have too many. When we start again, we'll be on page 167 out of 422. So the next chapters we read will be at the halfway mark. Yeah, slightly over the halfway mark. But yeah, I'm enjoying this series. I think it's written beautifully and nothing feels too slow. There isn't anything super duper riveting or like crazy that has happened, but I'm loving it. This isn't necessarily, I would say it's slice of life for nobility. Yeah, this is nobility slice of life so far. And I'm feeling it. One thing I have learned about myself is that I do like a lot of stuff to be happening and to be going on. A lot of, just like regular slice of life is not my thing. But when it comes to stuff like this, which obviously there is going to be some political intrigue. I know it's going to be in there somewhere. We're getting to it. Right now, we just got the household intrigue, but this is really good. There's no martial arts and stuff in it, but I'm liking it. You know, martial arts is not the only thing I like, y'all. The only thing I don't like is that we've only seen one picture, and that was on page 81. We are now on page 167, and I still don't have another picture. That's my only fuss. More pictures. Just like, I know they're coming. You said the wife comes first is even more slice of life to me, but I agree. It is pretty low stakes so far. Yes, I agree with that about slice of life. I mean, the wife comes first as well. It is very slice of like-esque. Give me just a moment, you guys. Did I not add the Zoom meeting? Oh, I did. Here it is. I'm going to turn off my audio and video for the time being. Then I'm going to move this onto this screen. I am officially clocking into work, just to let these individuals into the live session and then disconnect from audio and leave them alone. And I have to wait for the lady to come in. So I'm just waiting for the artist to come in, which she'll be here when she's here. And then we can chat just like for a little bit longer. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. And I had already sent an email reminder out to this person, right? Right. Probably could have sent out another one today, but it's okay. So anyway, I'm going to keep talking for the time being, until she gets here, and then I'll let you guys know immediately that I'm putting you on pause or on a break temporarily. You love the book and are glad that it is getting more eyes to read it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people in my ARHA group chat talk about this one, and I've just been kind of like trying to find an opportunity exactly when I would read it because I didn't know because of everything else that I was reading. And it's just kind of one of those things where, you know, you hear people talk about different Danmei and, oh, this one's so exciting and that one's so exciting and blah, blah, blah. But I can't read all of them all at once, you know. I've got other things I'm doing, but I'm super duper glad that I went ahead and got on this one. So, really quickly, I am just going to send out an email while I'm on here with you guys. I did not mean to put it like that. This is Mary. We're going to do a blind carbon copy. Hold on. Who was it that said they're currently at work? Me too. One-on-one with Catherine, Zoom link. Alrighty, bada boom. So anyway, you said you're greatly enjoying the book. It's so much fun. I love our boys so much. The boys are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. I love their characters so very much. It's a crock pot. I love that. Slow cooking the story into a fine meal. Yes, you said that was you, but you're done now. It was you and someone else. There were two people that were working. I think, was it Suki? I don't remember. And I was like, I won't tell anybody. Link for one-on-one. And like Hi, Catherine. I just wanted to send you the link for your one-on-one session with Harriet White that starts in 10 minutes. In case you needed it again, I'll be seeing you shortly. All the best tomorrow. Yeah. Sorry, I had to hear all of that typing. Oh my gosh. And what am I gonna entitle this with Mary White? Okay, that was sent. Yep, and then I just got the reminder now. Period. Okay, so yeah, she still hasn't even come in. You said you actually have to go walk your dog now. Bye, Neko Neko. Hi, doggy. Also, have fun walking. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the book. And I know I'm not reading it out loud for y'all, but it's been really, really fun. And there was even a part of me that was like, I wonder what it would be like if we were like all live together and reading together, but like in our heads. And just had some light music playing. But that's just me being extra. So, because I like to be extra sometimes. How was the read yesterday? I wasn't able to join. Well, according to what everyone else said, the reading was awesome. I will be editing that and putting it up today. Well, the audio version on Patreon. But yes, it was really good. The opening to volume 3 of QJJ it was chef's kiss. It was great. I was like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. So yeah, it was good. That's my opinion. I sent it to you. I sent it to your email. Did you get it? I mean, I sent it to your, I sent a calendar invite and it has the link on it. So, All right, so she's about to come. So when she comes, I'm just going to really quickly put up a be right back screen, which, I mean, we're basically done, but I don't want to rush the goodbyes. So, yeah, okay, here she is. So let me just, oh, shoot, I did it. Be back in a quick second, like 10 minutes approximately. Hi. Oh, you're on
Hello,
mute.
hello.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
All right.
make you co-host.
Okay, let's bring up Catherine's. If you could send me each morning, I have something, a reminder, so it comes to the top, because
Okay.
plus I'm having, I just got this new laptop
Yeah.
and it's not working right and no one can figure out what's going wrong. So
Oh no. Yes, I can
it's
send you
so
a
frustrating.
reminder. I meant to send you one, but I'm still like getting back into the groove of working again.
Yeah, I understand. It takes a while
And so I
to
was
do
like,
that.
yeah, I was like, I forgot to send a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, okay. So can you bring up Catherine's work?
yeah, sure.
The
Let
thing is, I
me,
don't know where to look for the one-on-ones. I can find my mentorship students, but I don't know where the one-on-ones are.
ooh, I think we would have to add you to the course. Well, I feel like I'm gonna make a video at some point tomorrow to show you. They should be
I don't
on.
see private mentorship in any of my, on my page anywhere. And I
Yeah.
see everything else.
Mm,
So what am I missing?
okay. I thought the mentorship was made from your page. It should have been. So I don't know.
Take a
I'll
look at it. Do you
have to
see
check.
it?
I'm having to check that really quickly. Um, um, Let me do Mary White. Here we go. Run as Mary. Okay. And I'm gonna go to, I think, my page. Okay, all the boot camps, all the boot camps, all the fine art mentorships. No, I don't see it here. I created
Yeah,
it, so I don't
yeah.
understand why it's not.
Well, let's you could do that later, or maybe
Yeah,
while Catherine and I are talking, but so I don't
yeah.
have anything to look at of hers.
Okay, well, just a sec, and I'll get
Okay.
her profile up for you. Also, am I mute? Why are you saying I'm muted? I don't remember being muted. Okay. All right. Insert her email. Run as Catherine. And we're going to. Okay. So I'm going to her portfolio, and now I'm going to. Hold on. Share my. Where's the share button? Oi. Oh, there it is. Okay, share my screen. I want to share this specifically. Okay. So we are on
That
her.
was last May, June. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know
Let
what.
me just show me what she had in there.
I guess she doesn't.
Yeah, pets were strong.
She probably just hasn't uploaded anything new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this might be, I guess, more conversation based, or maybe she has physical
Sure.
paintings.
Sure. So where would she upload more?
She could
Onto her.
she could upload them here straight to her portfolio. I am going
Okay.
to speak with Andy tomorrow when I'm working again about
I see. I don't think. Can anybody else see her portfolio?
no.
Okay. Because I don't think
Yeah.
anyone should be able to see her
The
portfolio.
the only way a student can see another student's portfolio is if they are given the link.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
So I go to my page and I go to the classes. So where do I go for for the student individual portfolios?
I can send the links to hers, Cynthia's, and
Okay,
Monica's.
that's all
Yeah.
I need. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Let me just send a
You know what? When you send me their one-on-one, can you just include it in that when you do a Zoom
um when I
reminder? That way, there it is.
just when I send you an email for the day of. Yes.
Yeah,
I can do
that'd be
that.
great.
Okay.
Because I could look at that way. I can look at their work again in the morning.
Yeah, I can do that.
That'd be really helpful.
Okay. And yeah, today is the only one this week. She's the only one you're meeting, right? Yes.
Okay, what happened with Monica's Wednesday? I mean, boy, she's been going around, and I thought it was back on for that. Are we back
I
on 2:30 to three
I
thirty?
Monica's is on the 18th from 2 to 3 based on your last
Okay,
message. And that's what I told her. That's what we're doing. And then I sent her
okay,
another message just reminding her to review the time because I've already discussed this on the phone with
okay.
her, you
Right, I
know.
know. I'm sorry. So cancel February 11th, 2:30 to 3:30 for
Yes,
sure.
cancel
Okay,
that
all right.
one.
Okay, very good. Okay, I mean, it looks like a football play in my date book. This one goes here, there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah, and I'm sorry that
said,
it adds more load to yours.
oh, it's
Okay,
okay. It's not your fault. So, I did give her a friendly little notice like, hey.
yeah, okay.
So,
All right.
also, let me just make sure I have Catherine's telephone number. Where am I gonna? Um,
Yeah, I don't want to have to reschedule one-on-ones.
well, I would think, I mean, they've been sent calendar invites as well,
Okay.
you know. So we try to make sure that everyone, is
Okay, well,
held
in
accountable.
1 minute, if you'll send her a text,
Yeah,
Mary's waiting.
yeah. Um, let me go ahead and get it prepped up now. 541. Because I sent out one text, I mean, not text, email reminder
Mm-hmm.
last week, um, like the
Yeah,
week the
because
week
she's
before.
she's really, I mean, she's been very responsive on the
Yeah,
ball. So I'm surprised she's not in.
and
Oh
I.
wait, maybe it says 3 participants. Maybe she's
Oh,
here.
oh, that's her. Good. We're good to
Okay, all
go.
right, very
Yay.
good. Okay,
Okay.
all right. There she is.
Okay.
Hello,
Hi,
Catherine.
Catherine.
Okay, you're on mute right now, so
You
I
too.
need to hear your voice too, as well as see
Yeah.
you.
There
There
you
we
go.
go. All
There
right.
you
Hello.
are. Okay, all right. Kamari will come back on the
Bye
end of the hour.
bye.
Bye,
Okay, all
Kamaria. Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Catherine, how are you? Tell me what you've
I'm
been doing.
doing pretty well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm just great, thanks. Yeah.
Good.
Leave the audio. Okay, there we are. Okay, so here I am now. Whew, I did it. For anyone who is sticking around, thank you. I know a couple of people had to go bye-bye. So yeah, now that's all set up and I don't have to worry about anything else. So, what was I saying? Actually, I don't think I was really saying anything. We were just talking about how much we like the book. And I'm actually really excited because I received a message that volume 2 was out for delivery, which I was really hoping that it would be here by the time this live session started so that I could show you the book. But when my husband went to look in the mailbox, it wasn't in there. And I see now that it's delivered. And I was like, ah, darn. Because I wanted us to just like look at it together. Oh, but that's okay. It's all right. Anyway, yeah. So you guys have any questions for me or anything y'all want to say? I know I've already gone over like the February schedule and some things that are definitely going to have to be switcherooed around, so that I can, spend some time with my husband, and others. Actually, it's not just us alone. But so today, like I said, I have to edit QJJ3's opening chapters and then I'll release them whenever they're, done and everything's uploaded. But hopefully, I can get chapters to you all, the next chapters to you all tomorrow. So we'll see how that works. We've waited this long for work. We can wait for a mail run. Oh, y'all don't mind me going to get it? Because I'll go and get it. It's literally right around the corner. I'll let more than one person say that they want me to go get it, and then I'll make the decision to go and get it. And let me just make sure that nothing bad is happening here. Okay. Also, I meant to spotlight both of them. Let me just do that really quickly. There we go. You said we've. Oh, I thought that was a new comment. It wasn't. If y'all want me to go get it, I'll go get it. Or we can wait till Thursday. Either or. If you want it to be, don't make me. I started a painting, and this is really random. I started a painting pre-surgery, and then post-surgery, it was like, my arm was swollen, so I didn't do much painting. And almost a month later, I tried working on the painting, and I was like, this just isn't feeling right. So I need to make sure I get some more painting in. But anyway, I think I'll just wait until Thursday, okay? Because I'm gonna go get it after this live session anyway, but I will wait till Thursday. So again, remember we are covering chapters 15 through 20, although some of y'all already passed that, and we will discuss 6 chapters. 6 chapters. That's going to be a long one, unless the chapters are a breeze. We'll see. But I'm very excited. I may still shift some things around on the calendar as far as like how many chapters we read for Monday versus Thursday. And we'll see. Because I don't want to overload myself or stress myself out. But yeah, other than that, I hope you all have an excellent day or night. And I will see you all Thursday. For some reason, my brain was like, I have another meeting with you guys, but I don't. I will see you Thursday. So, Musical Marauder, because of your recent comment, I know you're here. So, have a great day. And anybody that was left, enjoy. So, I will see y'all. Oh! Y'all, I'll stay hurting myself. How did this even happen? My middle finger, of all fingers too, it's my middle finger. Goodbye. That means this is the end for me. That's what this means. How am I ending this session?